Peace and blessings. How y'all doing? Good. So I'm Brother Shareef. Like I said before, I used to be the Black History instructor here before, and working with the Rites since about 2010. I'm like a counselor and mentor in the school system with young men your age. Work with, the young brothers and sisters there. Try to help them along, with their issues. And I just try to, help out in the community, especially with young black boys. So today's topic, I'm gonna move kind of fast. Excuse my passion if I get a little hyped, because I'm very upset about some things that's going on. But this is our topic. 911, what's your emergency? I've been robbed of my history and identity. Before I get into that, I want y'all to listen to Brother Malcolm.
Police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give him? Our brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this. And it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves. They attack the victim. And then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. This is American justice. This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me.
The video taken from the back of a transport vehicle shows the handcuffed teenager stepping out to face two officers, Rory Bruce on the left. Words exchanged.
One forearm, as each forearm grows, he's trained to do.
I met with Jeff Borda with the St. Louis Police Officers Association. Without the video playing in front of him, I asked him what it shows. Borda says he sees Bruce crouched down, the suspect moving forward, the officer only defending himself.
I told you I wanted to search you. I came out of the thing and put the money in.
But that's not what the department believed. They fired Bruce and turned the case over to prosecutors to charge. Because the case is now closed, prosecutors told me they couldn't comment on camera. But in an emailed statement, Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce said the office was disappointed that the judge didn't see this video, adding they think it clearly shows Bruce beating a handcuffed teen. Judge Teresa Counts-Burke didn't return my calls for comment. Borda says the judge did right. He says police videos like these should be used to protect police, not go after them.
Now it's become a gotcha sort of headhunter tool that we've seen Internal Affairs, frankly, go overboard with.
Borda says with his name clear in the courts, Bruce should get his job back. We'll stay on top of it to see if he does. Downtown, Lauren Traeger.
The criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. This is American justice.
Was he even talking?
This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me.
So that was in 1958 when Minister Malcolm was talking about what's going on. We're some 55 some years later, and we still faced with the same thing. And that's what I'm concerned about, because I love y'all, and I have two little boys coming up now, and myself, that anytime you walk out the door, it could be your last time because of these people. And this is a shame. This is a shame. 12 years old. This is Tamir Rice in Cleveland, Ohio, playing with a BB gun. Someone could say, well, where'd he get the gun from? Well, there's white children that play not only with toy guns, but with real guns. They be practice shooting. They're not dead. Rolled up on him. He's in the playground across the street from a community center. not bothering anyone. I've seen the video, and within 2 seconds, they just roll up on him and shoot this little boy in the stomach, and he died.
You saw the video?
Yeah, it's a video. You can pull it up. His name is Tamir Rice. This happened last weekend. And the 911 caller, I don't know why they called. The cops even told the dispatcher that the gun was probably fake. Kind of hold your question, because I don't want to hold his sister up, but I want to hear from you. Okay? Really quick.
They said, today when I went to the mosque, our minister, he said that the police officer told the dispatch that it was a black male that looked in his 20s.
You see the picture there. He's just a child. Like, how old are you, brother?
He's 12.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
So that, God forbid, that could have been you. But I bet you they wouldn't roll up in another neighborhood and do that. We know what's going on in Ferguson now with our brother Mike Brown, bless his soul. Trayvon Martin, you can't even walk to the store to get some snacks and get back home safe. And to make it even worse, they indicted George Zimmerman, but a jury of women that got children his age didn't see it in their heart to give this man 1 day in prison. That's where we at. And then Jordan Davis playing his music in the at a gas station, and his music was too loud, and now he's gone. Those are 4 doctors, lawyers, rocket scientists, whatever, gone. And it's many, many more. And this has been going on. You've seen the clip from Brother Malcolm talking about what was going on in 1958. It goes way back to slavery time that this has been going on. So hopefully we can come up with some solutions to empower y'all, to make y'all feel safe, because this can't continue. And Brother Malcolm said, if a snake bites one of your children, you don't go looking for that snake. Any old snake could do. So, in my opinion, if the only way to stop this is if they get Jerome, then we got to get Jim. If they get Tamika, then we got to get Teresa. Plain and simple. So we're going to get to the topic. What's been happening with our history is that you guys have been given half-truths. They tell you half of the truth, and then a lot of us take it as the whole truth, but it dilutes our minds so much that we've been robbed of our history and identity, and it affects us so deep that because we don't know who we are. Now, this is a movie. I'm not too up on movies, but this is a movie that's getting ready to come out. Exodus, Gods and Kings. When does that come out?
Next week.
Next week? Okay. Now, this ain't no theology class, but if you go in the Bible and during this time, right, it talks about how Moses had to perform a miracle to Pharaoh to show him that he was the messenger of God, right? So if I put my hand in my shirt, it's black, right? And I put my hand in my shirt and it comes out and it looks the same as at one end, is that a miracle? No. But Moses said, I put my hand in my shirt and forthwith it came white. So if it came out white, it must have went in black, right? So who are these characters? Where they come from? Right? But you see it over and over again, it becomes your reality because you see it so much. And do you have something?
It's based on Cleopatra and the Ten Commandments, those movies that came out in the 60s and 70s, when Yul Brynner was Moses. And most of their views of who God is comes from movies and paintings, like the painting of Jesus and the Ten Commandments, even though those were like some Italian guy's uncles. The white people think, oh, this is what Jesus looked like. And that's the same thing that's happening here. It's just a continuation of the colonial.
These young brothers, you're exactly right. But these young brothers here, they see this over and over again, especially with social media and movies and so much technology. It's adults that don't even know that this is totally false. Then you got a black slave there. that the gods and kings, you know, are white. This is a half-truth. Let me give you a quick example. Abdul Rahman, you three brothers, come forward for me real quick. I'm going to give you an example of a half-truth given to you as reality. And this is just being hypothetical. So, what's your name, brother? Huh? Caleb, what's your name? Talani? Okay, let's say Abdul Rahman is my son, right? Really he is. But let's say he's my son, right? And Caleb is his friend. And we're going to get to you. And I'm just being hypothetical. And I say, Abdul Rahman, that Caleb, that's a badass brother. He's always stealing, he's lying, he's always getting into something, and I don't know what kind of supervision he has at his house. So I don't want you going to his house, okay? So you're like, all right. So Friday night comes, and Abdul Rahman comes to me and says, I want to go out. I'm like, all right, where you going? I'm going to Talani's house. So you go there, do whatever you do, come back, right? And then I asked him, where did you go? I went to Talani's house. But what he failed to tell me was that Talani and Caleb were brothers that live at the same house. That's a half-truth, masked as the full truth. And that's what you've been given, a half-truth. Yeah, they tell you that the border's split and all that, but they're telling you half of the truth. You didn't tell me that this was his brother, and you live in the same house. You said, I went to Talani's house. Well, you did go to Talani's house. But damn, they're brothers that live in the same house. You didn't tell me that part. All right? Thank you. And by the way, who is this? Who? Right here in the corner. Who is that? That's King Tut. The real King Tut that are in museums today in Africa, Egypt. Egypt is in Africa, in Cairo Museum. That's the real King Tut. I forgot to put it on here. They just came out with a new, what's it called, National Geographic, and on there it said, the new King Tut. White as this here. What do you mean the new King Tut? And we accept it. If you had a grandmother who did for you all these years, and someone gave you a picture of her and don't look nothing like her, you wouldn't accept that. Like, that's not my grandmother. Do we accept this? No. A lot of us do. Excuse the language, but y'all hear this all the time. This is some of the reason why we're where we're at. Now, it's not the root of the problem, but it's a symptom of it. Y'all, some people, I know young boys who go to sleep listening to this. And this isn't real hip-hop. But look what they're promoting. This is NWA. Some of our elder brothers here and our sisters going to speak about it. Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, Young Black and Gifted. That was real music that made you move, not just dancing, but made you move on your thinking. And then Satan comes along and starts promoting this gangster rap. Look what they're promoting. Straight out of Compton. Crazy MFer named Ice Cube. From the gang called Niggas with Attitudes. Squeeze the trigger. Bodies are hauled off. You too, boy. The police are going to have to come get me. Off. That's how I'm going out. For the punk MFers that's showing out. Niggas start to mumble. They want to rumble. Mix them, cook them. Pop like gumbo. Going off the MFer like that. Whip that gas. Pointed at your new wolf. You know what. So give it up smooth. Ain't no telling. I'm down for the jack move. Here's a murder rap to keep you dancing. With crime record like Charles Manson. AK-47 is the tool. What is he promoting? Killing. Is he promoting to treat black women like queens? No. Is he promoting building? No. He's promoting destruction and death and what's going on in our streets. I know what you're saying. Well, that was back in 1989 or 1990, brother. Well, here's y'all new friend. Yes, brother.
The interesting thing about NWA is when they came out, they would not play any of that on the radio. The first time I heard it was like a weighted summer camp. All they played on the radio was like, Public Enemy and the good stuff. Now, they won't play stuff like Public Enemy. It's all stuff like NWA. And that's been the biggest change in your mind.
So I'm doing my counseling, thank you, brother. I'm doing my counseling sessions with my young people at school. And they keep talking about Bobby Smurda. I was like, who the hell is that? That's his name? Smurda. Okay. In Chewy, I'm some hot nigga. I like to talk shiesty like shot nigga. I like seeing him twirl, then he drop me. And we keep the 9 millies on my block nigga. What's he talking about?
I have no idea.
It sounds like he's promoting the same thing that NWA is promoting. And Monty, we keep on him. He done drop nigga. The trigger be wildin'. He's some hot nigga. Look at the bottom line. And if you ain't no hoe, I get up on the trap house. I've been selling crack since I've been like in the 5th grade. I know y'all like, I thought this was a black history class. It is. So see, what they want us to do is talk about what happened 10,000 years ago, which is good, and stop right there. They don't want y'all to come and bring it to present day so you can be builders like they were, so you can respect your women and be spiritual. They want us to stop right there. So I'm going to get there. Just give me a couple more minutes. But I'm just trying to put you in the mindset of how we got to where we are. Are y'all all right? Y'all all right? Y'all ain't mad at me, are you?
No, sir.
That's their God. They listen to that song.
Listen to, watch what you listen to because it can become your reality. Now, oh brother, that's just music. It's about to get real now. Durham homicide victims from the last 2 years. Look at this. What's going on? Marvin Gaye asked a good question. Joey Squire, NCCU student, shot and killed on Brainridge Apartments. 24 years old.
Black.
I'm not skipping anyone, but I just don't want to depress you. Timothy McGee, killed unknown shooter, fired into his home on East Umstead, 24 years old.
Black.
Paul Noel, killed unknown shooter, same street, 22 years old.
Black.
The guy that killed his sister, I went to school with him.
That's why I'm showing this, because this is your peers. These are people, this is our community. Right? Look at the second one down. Shot and killed outside Moe's Southwest Grill. 24 years old. Mr. Taylor, found shot dead at Duke Manor Apartments. I thought that was for the students. 19 years old. Mr. Oliver.
He had a baby.
Right? Mr. Malachi, shot and killed at Lion Park, Lakeview Apartments, in the parking lot. 20 years old. DeMario Lucas, shot at Campus Crossing. 23 years old. And this next slide really hurts me. The second one down was one of my students earlier this year at Glen Elementary. 9 years old. Breaks my heart. I went in the class looking for him. They said, Christian ain't here. We got to pull you out. Got shot by his own brother, and his brother that killed him was my student also, his 11-year-old brother. Unsupervised, playing with a gun, and shot the boy in the stomach. Christian Pittman. Accidentally shot and killed by his 13-year-old. That's not, I don't think he was 13, he was more like 12. That was my student in Glen Elementary, April of this year. 9 years old. Hot niggas. My 9 milli, I'm a shoot you nigga. Yeah. This is real. But again, the half truth is that oh, these boys are out of control and Bobby Smurda and NWA is causing these children to kill each other. It's a symptom of it, but it's not the whole thing. I forgot to bring it, but I had a crime rate from 1979 all the way up to 2012. Do you know the crime rate for larceny, theft, forcible rape, and murder was worse in 1979 than it is in present day right now? That had all the statistics showing that murder in America was worse in 79 than it was now. So how are you going to blame it solely on rap when rap really didn't get jumping off to about 81, 82? Ain't that right, Brother Mac?
Yes, sir.
right? So you can't solely blame it on rap, but that's the half-truth that they give you. It's these Negroes' fault. That's why y'all killing each other. Well, stop bringing the guns in the black community. You can stop this overnight. Stop bringing the drugs in. How did they get there? Y'all watch Boys in the Hood, right?
Yep.
Lawrence Fishburne said, we don't got no votes. Oh, I didn't even know it was another one. This is sad.
I seen him. I know who that is.
19 years old, 18 years old.
Derek Country.
My gosh. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Y'all all right? Yes, sir.
They got that one scene in Godfather. You see when they talking about selling drugs, and the kingpin was saying, you can't sell drugs to our kids, sell it to the blacks, because they're animals, and let them lose all their souls. And rappers love Godfather.
This is what we need. This is what we need to get back to. Y'all being builders, not destroyers, respecting our women, because your mother is a woman, not calling our women bees and hoes and all that. That's what we need to get back to. But a spirit has left us. I want to show you something real quick. And you're going to be like, what is this about? I'm going to interpret it for you.
The river pride feeds on a dead hippo washed up on the river's bank.
What does this got to do with black history? I'm going to show you. So, we pause it right here. Since I know lion language, I don't know if y'all do, I know lion language. I know crocodile language, right? So what's going on is the lions got their feed, which is the hippo. They feeding on the hippo. And crocodiles, which could weigh up to 3,000 pounds, is trying to creep up on their food. And you will see the lady lion tip off the father and say, yo, you need to check him. He's moving in on our space. And he's going to handle it. That's the queen. And she's like, yo, what's up with you? That's what she's saying. Y'all don't understand lion language. And he's like, yo, you got something I want? That's what's up. What you going to do about it? And that's the king like, yo, man, you better step the hell off. Number one, my children and my woman is here. You better step off, or you ain't gonna come in the water. That's what he barking at. And I got my boys in the back. I don't give a damn who you got. See, that's what he's telling me. I don't care who you got, and you better back up off of my woman and back up off of my territory. This is our grub. This is our food. Oh, I'll come in the water. Even though cats don't like water, I will come in the water. You better back up. I got this from a sister from Chicago. She told me about this. Yeah, back up so I don't even see your eyeballs. Back up. That's where y'all need to be. Y'all feel me? Back up so I don't even see your eyeballs. You ain't going to disrespect my woman and my property. Because if you do, I'm going to twist your cap. That's basically what he said.
Brother Shareef,
Yeah.
it should go with that scene. It's not just that, it's your community. These young men need to go in and take back their community.
That's right.
True indeed.
When we came up, we had strong communities. Wasn't no police coming in our community, wasn't no white man coming in our community. We policed ourselves. If a brother got out of pocket in the black community, the fathers and them, they handled it.
True indeed.
You know, we didn't have this. You know, every time, 911 or 12, whatever y'all call it, we handled our own business. And the white man comes in to destroy the community, not to bring it together.
But if we have this twisted mentality that I'm talking about, they just stand back. They got us on remote control now. You know, if you're a TV, you don't have no say in someone turning you on and off. Someone can just hit a button and you do whatever you want it to do. I got you, brother. I want to keep it moving. But we didn't get to this mindset on our own. This is historical, okay? Now this is Benjamin Rush. Y'all heard of the Declaration of Independence, right? He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Look what he said about you. This is why some of y'all, and adults too, don't know who you are. He was a physician, a writer, educator, humanitarian. I don't know where he got that title from. He was also one of America's founding fathers, signing the Declaration of Independence. He pushed black inferiority. He considered the father of psychiatry. He said blacks had a medical condition because of their black skin called negritude. That's why people call each other Negroes. You're acting like a Negro. They got it from him. He said the only way was to cure it for you to become white. And he's a signer of the Declaration of Independence. So he said, because of your black skin, you had nigritude, a word that he made up, and the only way to cure it was for you to become white. And he's a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Rush. Anyone teach you that in science or social studies class? No.
There's things about independence.
Look at this one. He's even worse. These are books that you can still get. He was a doctor on slave plantations. Look what he said. Dr. Samuel Cartwright. He published books that you can still get. Diseases and physical peculiarities of the Negro race. He used biblical references to prove black inferiority. He said it was impossible for blacks to survive without white supervision. In 1851, he diagnosed an imaginary black disease called drapetomania. He made it up. He said it caused laziness and shiftlessness in the Negro. He claimed that the illness caused Negroes to want to run from their master and break his master's property. He said the best way to cure it was to beat the devil out of it. He went from plantation to follow me now. He went to plantation to plantation, convincing slave masters, you're doing the right thing. There's something wrong with these people. And if you try to run for your freedom, which is natural because we were forced to come here, he said that you had a disease because you tried to run, called drapetomania. That's like me locking that door back there, keeping you in here against your will. Then if someone tries to run for the door, I get a doctor to say, that Negro is crazy. Shoot. No, I'm crazy for my behavior and treatment towards you. Y'all feel where I'm going with this? Oh, Brother Shareef, that was slavery time. Won't you leave that alone? Well, here's someone that just died a couple years ago. He's a world-renowned historian. Look this stuff up. That's why I have the projector here. He passed away in 2003. His writings and studies said, quote, Africa has no history. There's only European history. Africa is dark and barbaric without no history for now. He's a world-renowned historian, Hugh Trevor Roper. He said, you have no history. It's only European history. I guess that's why they had all those people with the movie that's coming out. And it's dark and barbaric. He's still living. Y'all ever watch The First 48?
Yeah.
Well, and how did they catch the murderers? DNA. Well, he's one of the founders of DNA structure. He's still living. He's still living. In his recent, he stated, blacks are an inferior race, and when given IQ tests, no matter what, you always fail.
Blacks were the first.
That's what he said. Look at that.
But a black man is the richest.
What he's saying, that you're inferior, and your scores are always going to be at almost a retarded state. That's what he's saying, if you read his article. And he's still living. His name is James Watson. Or below someone else. He's still living. Look at this, and this is connected to Ferguson. This is a nationally known psychologist in New Orleans. And he said about black youth, young black thugs need to be put down just like the dogs they are. Mark Trainer. That's what they say. That's what they think of you, and it's a lot of blacks that think the same thing. It's called global complicity. Europeans have convinced all other races that it's good business to mistreat, miseducate, abuse, exploit, and even kill black people, and it's okay.
He's lucky there was no black people around when he said that.
Now we get into the history. Does anyone know who this is?
No.
Don't have no idea who this is.
No.
Let me give you a hint. Listen, let me give you a hint. He invented this song, and he also invented the song, How Sweet the Name of Jesus. I bring this up because with the murder of our young brothers, a lot of these songs have been played in funerals, and some of our ancestors and grandmothers, whoever passed away, they play this song. He invented this song, but they give you a half-truth. He was also one of the most wicked slave masters that ever walked this earth. He used to rape black women on the Middle Passage. He used to participate in beatings, lynchings, and everything. So we singing that song and don't even know the origin of who it came from. His name is John Newton. You can look him up. 1738 to 1825 he lived. And they say he came up with that song, Amazing Grace. He had his slaves on the ship and a real bad storm hit. And he got so scared, he started singing that song. And that's how he came out with the song. But never stopped the beatings and the murder of African slaves, even after he came out with the song. And he also came out with the song, How Sweet the Name of Jesus. A half-truth. See, they don't give you the name so you won't start questioning who he is. We just know the song. That's why no one knew who this was. His name is John Newton. Another half-truth. We need a new song to memorialize our ancestors, coming from this character. If you know who these two are, but don't know who the one on the left is, you're a victim of cultural identity. The fastest growing crime in America is identity theft. Well, they should be in jail then. Does anyone know who this is? Who's this?
The Lone Ranger.
And who else?
Tonto Indian.
Tonto, right? This here is Bass Reeves, the real Lone Ranger that they didn't tell you about. He was born on a slave plantation in 1838 in Arkansas. He was so bad, that he got fed up one day. He beat up his slave master in front of the other ones and said, I'm out of here and I dare you to come look for me. Moved to Texas and became the first deputy marshal, and he brought in 3,000 outlaws. And every time he would go get the outlaws, he always had an Indian or a Native American brother with him. They stole it and came out with this show, but never told you about Bass Reeves.
There's a new movie out too.
You understand that? He was the real first Lone Ranger. But they only pick up in 1938 when this movie came out, replaced him with a white man and some Indian, but he took in 3,000 outlaws, him and his Native American brothers. They said, But he was the first black deputy marshal. You can look him up. Bass Reeves. Another half-truth. They gave you that, but that's not the truth. They switched it around like they always do. Now, what did Mr. Roper say? Africa was dark and barbaric with no history. These are some of my pictures. Raise your hand. This is Senegal, Cairo, and the Ivory Coast. What's that place up in Canada with all that water?
Niagara Falls.
Makes Niagara Falls look sick. Raise your hand if you would take a vacation in any of these places.
Yeah.
Does that look dark and barbaric to you?
Nope.
Does it look like it don't have no history?
Nope.
Look at that. You can ride through the bridge and look at all that beautiful water. All they tell you about is Niagara Falls. What was here first? The Ivory Coast or Niagara Falls?
Ivory Coast.
Yeah, because it's Africa. That's the land of civilization. How come there? Look at them beautiful lights. That don't look dark to me. Look at all that green there.
Green water too.
All that. And then they tell you a lie that Africa is a jungle. If you would look at a map, Africa is nothing but green. It's nothing but green there. It's more jungles in the state of Florida than it is on the whole continent of Africa.
Wait, what?
It is more jungles in Florida alone than jungles in the whole continent of Africa. Yeah, why do you think they call it the Everglades? Look at your map. It is more jungles in Florida, which is a state, than the whole continent of Africa. If you would look at Africa on the globe, you see nothing but green. When you see green, you got life. That's why it's good to eat salad. What color is salad? Get it right. Bunch of liars.
Wait, did you say there's more jungles?
I'll say it again. There's more jungles in the state of Florida than the whole continent of Africa combined. The continent is bigger. That's part of the half-truth they give you. They just show you who's the people swinging from the trees, that movie. What that make you think? That's a half-truth. Make you think, oh, it's nothing but a bunch of niggers swinging from trees there. That's something they made up.
Yeah, Tarzan.
If it's so much of a jungle there, how come we can't get them out of there? They're all over there. Right? Who's this? I'm about to wrap up.
Yeah.
Mankind's first doctor. Y'all go to the doctor, right? When y'all went to the doctor, they didn't tell you that the first doctor of all mankind was a black man? And that he was an engineer, an architect, a mathematician, all that. He had like 50 jobs. But because we're in this society, they only teach us to get one job. And he built that first pyramid there, which is the a stair-step pyramid. Look how big that is compared to the people standing there. And before the Arabs went in there and stole the lime off of it, the pyramids that you see over there now used to glow in the daytime. You feel me? It used to glow in the daytime, but they stripped the lime off of it. And that's why it has that dusty brown color. The Arabs did that. Yeah, I tell the truth. It used to glow in the daytime. No nuts, no bolts. Look at that. And he's mankind's first doctor. Listen up. He cured over 200 different ailments of the body. Ear, nose, throat. He was doing cataract surgery 10,000 years ago. Cataract surgery. Ears, throat, bloodstream. Mankind, yes. Mankind's first doctor. And guess who they give the credit for being the mankind's first doctor? Somebody came 3,000 later named Hippocrates from Greece. Another 7th one. Yes, sir.
It's just a question. How do you feel about, the whole thing about adults beating their children with switches and stuff?
I'll get to that. Hold on to that. Remind me, okay? Another 7th wonder of the world. The Great Sphinx. 482 feet tall. The base of it is 13 miles wide. Right there. Took 100,000 members. They weren't slaves. They try to lie about that now. Took them 20 years to build that. What happened to the nose? There you go. He said, they keep talking about these niggers and all this and that. I gotta go see. And then when they went there and seen kings and queens and all this, he got mad and shot off the nose. It took him 20 shots, so they call it the 20-shot salute. So y'all sitting there watching the Super Bowl, and they doing the 20-shot salute, and we there, and they're commemorating them damaging your ancestors' property. I'm going to repeat that. When they do the salute at the Super Bowl, and they buck off 20 shots, and they're just standing there, they're commemorating this, because it took Napoleon 20 shots to knock off his nose. And we sitting there, hey, the game's getting ready, come on. What you clapping for? But you've been given a half. Yes, sir.
What's so special about the nose that made them want to shoot just the nose off?
Because it was black. Broad nose, thick lips. He tried to take it off the lips too, so it wouldn't have African features.
So you were satisfied once the nose fell off?
Did you hear what I said? That's things like 482 feet tall, and you look like
How did he shoot
compared there. That's what he did. This is history, and this is a pyramid. This is a pyramid in Mexico that you can go to now. You can look at now, and it's just like the pyramid that we just saw that Imhotep and his followers built, the stair step. So what does that tell you? If that's in Mexico and it looks just like the one in Africa, does that mean that the Africans were in Mexico then, right? They don't tell you that. Any of y'all eat Mexican food?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you eat Mexican food. And when you went in there, did they ever say, hey, brother, your people are like my people. You help build it and do that. Just take the money and go, right? No one likes us. Another lie. This just came out on the internet. The greatest mathematicians of all time. You see anyone up there that looks like you? How in the hell are they the greatest mathematicians of all time, and it takes algebra to build something like that? Didn't they have to know math?
Yeah.
Who was here first? Us or them?
Us.
So, why aren't we the greatest one? Not one of us? That's awful strange. It's just a question.
They ugly.
And we were also the first dentist. Did they ever tell you when you went to the dentist that y'all were the first dentist? This is a picture of a mummy that they just found recently in the last year or two. And the mummy is bling-blinging with gold in his mouth. So we was bling-blinging like 3,000 years ago. This is an actual picture of a mummy. And Kasai Ray, you could go to the pyramids right now. This is his picture in the pyramids.
They created
3,000 years ago. And what color does he look like he is?
black.
Look him up. This is before Jesus. We were doing dental work, stringing wires.
He had grills.
Yeah.
Grills in his mouth, like he lived in Texas.
And they get fashion from us. See that?
Yeah, the Pope.
The pharaohs in Africa, he stole it. That means power. These are judges. Got that from King Tut. They ain't gonna tell you that. That hat that you see the popes wear, they get that right from Africa. They ain't gonna tell you that. Means power. I could be here an hour just talking about that. The fitted dresses and y'all see the sisters with, like, man, she's fine. We've been doing that. We've been doing that. Look, this is going back like 10,000 years, and y'all see these things now. We invented underwear before we came along. Europeans didn't wear underwear. They didn't know nothing about it. Nor did they wash. They only took one bath a year until we came along. They took one bath a year in May because they didn't know how to conserve water. That's why a lot of weddings are in May. Because at that time, when they would take that one bath a year, they said, well, since we're clean, we might as well get married. So they would take that one bath a year in May or June, and that's why a lot of people here in America take baths in May or June. Because they're following after European culture. But they didn't know nothing about cleanliness. They didn't know nothing about domesticating animals. They would put animals and dogs on the roof. That's why people say it's raining cats and dogs. Because when they had them on the roof, and it would start raining, they started sliding off the roof, and that's where the saying, it's raining cats and dogs. Until we came in Spain and said, no, the animals go out here, and y'all live in here. That's where measles and mumps and bubonic plague and all that came from, because they was living with the animals.
Why do they smell like wet dogs?
Moving along. What's that?
Obelisk.
What's that? Where they get that from? Africa.
Oh.
Temple in Luxor, 10,000, 15,000 years ago, right? I could be here 2 hours just talking about the significance of that, but they don't tell you that. Same thing, right there in Washington, D.C., right? 555 feet tall. It's the tallest structure in America. Isn't that strange that slavery started in 1555?
In America.
And the building is 555 feet tall? It's a question. See how they steal? They got them in Paris, got them in Rome, at the Vatican. We had thousands of these. They're actually called techanews. That's the African name. Techanews all throughout Africa, and Constantine would go all throughout Africa and steal them and place them in these places.
He had his own.
Yeah, he had a
country. Or was it country or?
Constantinople.
Yeah, Constantinople.
But this ain't no 10,000 years ago. These are in Paris and Rome right now. And they call them obelisks. But they stole them out of Africa. Let me get your attention now. I'm just about finished. Y'all all right?
Yes.
Are you learning anything?
Yes.
Another thievery. This is Abu Simbel Temple in Africa. Look how they're sitting there, and look how the slave master's sitting there. I guess that's Abraham Lincoln. But look how they steal. They steal everything. But if no one explains this to you, you don't know, and you think that you haven't invented anything except what Bobby Smurder was talking about. That's all we've invented. No? We also, that's the original Statue of Liberty
Oh, yeah.
My brother, Minister Paul, always says, he's in the back there, in the black, he always says, bring your proof. Our brother, Minister Paul. You can get this book, What They Never Taught You in Black History class, and it talks about how this was the original Statue of Liberty that a Frenchman proposed to Abraham Lincoln in 1863, and Abraham Lincoln said, no, I'm not doing that. And he replaced it. First he said, the black man, and he said, no. And then that, you can go on 125th Street in New York in a museum, and they have these same posters there, whatever you want to call it. Because this was supposed to be the first Statue of Liberty. In this book, it tells you how your first president was black. They don't tell you about that. John Moore, that's your real first president. But again, they give you a half-truth. Well, I thought George Washington was the first president. He was when they made up the Constitution. But the laws before the Constitution were called the Articles of Confederation. And he was the president from 1781 to 1782. Under the Articles of Confederation. Then when they changed the laws to the Constitution, then George Washington was the first president. Another half-truth. Yeah, he was the first president under the Constitution. But before the Constitution, under the Articles of Confederation, which y'all should have learned in social studies class, go look it up. I ain't making this stuff up. Yes, sir.
Was the statue to the left ever built, or is it just proposed?
Man, it's huge. He sent it to him from France and said, since you're about to free your slaves, how about you have something colossal to commemorate you about to free your slaves? And Abraham Lincoln said, sure, send me something. So he sent him this first, a black man. He said, heck no. Then he sent her that. And he said, no, I'm not doing that either. And then just replaced her with the white one.
So what did they do with that one?
Huh?
What did they do with the one on the left?
Oh, it's still in the 125th Street Museum in New York. And it's in Washington, D.C.
The Statue of Liberty on the left still has chains around the ankles.
Still has chains around the ankles.
I'm from New Jersey, but that was part of a class trip, and they had narrowed down the features so that she looked European. But the chains are still around the ankles. They've covered up some of them, but I've seen the chains on it. And no one else came here, as you know, in chains except us.
Now, give me 5 more minutes and I'll be done. This is very important.
No, we don't want you to be done yet.
Very important, thank you. This is very important because this relates to you guys. You guys are in school, right? And this is something that we all have suffered, whether we adults, like our brother Clint, and give him a hand for being bold enough to have him come here. And Brother Mike, brother back here, Brother Harold, because there's been places I've been banned from. Okay? So I appreciate him letting me to do this, okay? But all of us have been a victim of this. Because this ain't just about talking about history and then just leaving it there. I'm here for your service. After I'm done, I'm going to give you my card. And any way I can help you in school, I'm here for you. That's part of the solution. Because without education, you can't get nowhere. 5-step program for black boys. We've all been a victim of it. All right? Step number 1, we've been talking about it, is miseducation. So you're in school and they don't teach you your history. What starts happening? It's a question. What starts happening? When nothing that you can relate to what the teacher is saying. You start getting disinterested. And then they start teaching you lies like Christopher Columbus discovered America when he never came to America. He never came here. He only came to the islands. Done? Okay. And this is Queen Anne Nzinga. She freed Africa from Portugal rule in Portuguese, and there they wouldn't even give the woman a seat. So one of her slaves, not one of her slaves, one of her brothers sat there so she could have a seat. Y'all need to know about her. That's Queen Anne Nzinga. Anyone ever hear of her?
No.
See? That's step number 1. Step number 2 is frustration. It's 5 steps. So you're not being taught your history, right? You start getting disinterested. So now you're in class and you're looking like him, frustrated. It's not that anything is wrong with you. You're just frustrated and you're bored. But then you get a teacher who says, oh, Abdul Rahman not paying attention. brother so-and-so ain't paying attention. We got something for him. Then they make a phone call home, and their solution is medication. See the steps? Now, there ain't nothing wrong with you. You're just disinterested. So now they want to put you on medicine, Ritalin, Adderall, and all kind of crazy stuff that ain't going to do nothing for you but make you more crazy. Right? Then look at all those side effects that it gives you. I ain't going to read them all. Just look at it. That's what Ritalin and Adderall does to you. I work in the school system. I'm a counselor. I know it. I'm highly against it. That's why I'm trying to save you before you get there. All right? And then those are the signs of ADHD. Those are things that normal adults do every day. Can't find your keys, not paying attention, interrupting people. Those are things that adults do every
Where
day.
did ADHD even come up from?
I answered that for you. And look at this. This is the father of ADHD, and 2 years ago he died, and he admitted that he made the whole thing up. I want you to look it up. It don't exist. I'm trying to free your mind. Eisenberg quoted on his deathbed. He's the father of ADHD, and at 87 on his deathbed, 7 months before his death, he said it's a prime example of a fictitious disease. Don't even exist. He said that. Not me. You can look him up. In the German newspaper, he said it don't exist, and he's the one that made it up.
What about ADD?
And then from there, I'm about to finish. Hold on, let me finish. Then from there,
Incarceration.
you go through all of that, get locked up, come out, can't get no job,
Because you were fat.
You go back.
and you're going to prison. If you don't got no education. Then after you get out, ain't no telling what done happened to you in there. You come back out, then you're in the casket. So that's 5 steps. Ain't no song. Miseducation, frustration, medication, incarceration, and extermination. Y'all got it?
Yes.
Name me any black man in here that hasn't at least experienced one of these. Can you say you haven't experienced none of them?
Yep.
Have you not been miseducated?
I have.
Have you not been frustrated?
I have.
And this is the last slide here. This is you. You're looking at yourself. This is Cameron Clark. He got a perfect score from the area I'm from in Philly, a 2,400 on his SATs. Perfect score, a 2,400. Well, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You're looking at yourself. He looks just like you. And then Ayanna Beavers, 4 years old. She's in a genius group. It's called Mensa. She lives in New Orleans, 4 years old. Knew her ABCs at 2, 3 years old. She knows different languages. She knows the capital of every city in America. At 4 years old. She's in a genius club. Her name is Ayanna Beavers. Well, you're a genius. You're a genius. But you're never told that. You're only told that you're a nigger and you're bad as hell and you get on my nerves and you need to get out my class. And then that starts becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. But no one's telling you that you're a genius. Well, you gotta be a genius. I just showed you what your ancestors did and what they still do. So get ready. Get ready for our sister to come up. I know that was a little rough, but that's what you need. Because playtime is over. You see what's going on out in these streets.
Yes.
They're trying to kill us. But we have to protect each other. That's why I showed you that lion and how he was protecting his families. Don't call no women no bees. Don't kill each other. If a brother steps on your Jordans, you apologize to him.
Whoa.
All right? You don't kill him over something that costs $5 to make. You apologize to him and say, it's okay, brother, and how can I help you? We got to stop offing each other with the hot, whatever that song was. All right? Thank you for listening. Go in peace. And any way I can help you, brothers, in school, because that's what I do. You let me know, and I will come to your school. I will come to your house, whatever I need to do to help you in any way. All right? Just get with me afterwards. That's my information there, and I have a card for you. All right? Peace. No fighting. All right?